Hey, welcome back to the studio. We're talking about the new wrinkle in the Gabby Petito case. A lot of y'all remember that this young lady and her fiance were traveling across country. She was posting regularly on social media platforms, especially Instagram. Her family knew that she was traveling with her fiance during the pandemic to many state and national parks, and that they lost touch with her. And then suddenly her cell phone communication stopped. Then a curious communication, one that her parents say she would have never sent because she referred to her grandfather by his proper first name instead of his nickname. And that's a clue that she had already been dead or injured in such a way she couldn't use her phone. And because Brian at that time was still communicating with his mother and father and then returned to Florida alone with Gabby's van, that they were involved somehow in her foul play, especially in that first 24 to 48 hours, actively conspiring. This is the allegation as I understand it, actively conspiring with Brian to mislead or lead in a wrong direction or actively cover for Brian the fact that Gabby was dead, and to help Brian get home and evade law enforcement and to help Brian get out of the country. These are some pretty staggering allegations. They're going to have to prove them in a court, but we all know, many of us who remember the O.J. Simpson trial and many of us who remember the civil trial or have seen the television reenactment of it, know that the civil burden of proof, the greater weight of admitted, believable evidence, is lower than the criminal beyond all reasonable doubt burden of proof, and that the parents of Gabby are going to have an opportunity through their attorneys to interrogate the parents of Brian. And if Brian's parents invoke their constitutional right to silence, which I think any criminal defense attorney would tell them to do that, every time they say, "I take the fifth," Gabby's parents get to use that in the category for the win to prove their civil damages against Brian's parents. So it's a very dangerous situation they're on. And more to come on this unfolding development. Stay tuned.